We have waited for a long while for a very close game at this ICC Cricket World Cup. We've been thoroughly entertained. It's been edge of the seat stuff. South Africa have beaten Pakistan by 1 wicket. Lots of talking points. Was that out? Should Pakistan have won this game? Fact remains, Pakistan have lost 4 on the bounce for the first time in World Cup history. And as things stand, they are all but out of this World Cup. Dav Watmore, Sri Lanka's 1996 World Cup winning coach, here with me. He's also been a former coach of Pakistan. And from Islamabad, I'm joined by WION's Pakistan Bureau Chief, Anas Malik. Anas, close, very close. This is a performance the team will be so proud of. In fact, Pakistan fans, yes, they've lost, they're all but out. But this is a performance that every fan of the Pakistan cricket team should applaud.
Well, yes, it was close. The Pakistani fans would definitely be applauding for what how the team has performed. But, you know, at the end of the day, it matters that what the result is, and the result is that the Pakistani side is coming back home, has to come back home on the 11th or 12th of November as soon as they're done playing their last match on the 11th. And that's that. I mean, we can talk about it, about the umpiring, about the decisions, about the indecisiveness in fielding, the efforts that were being put in by fast bowlers and not by regular fielders. I mean, there's a long list of talking points to talk on, especially that last delivery by Mohammad Nawaz, which who Babar Azam, for that matter, has been claiming has been his match winner. I mean, that was a real poor delivery. You guys can talk more about it, but a good effort, certainly short by about 20 runs or so. They literally threw away their wickets, 225 for 5, and then 270 all out. Classical Pakistan middle order collapse, or lower middle order collapse as well. As I said, lots to talk about there with Digvijay.
Okay, hang on. I'm going to get the cricket analysis in from Dev, and I'm going to come back to you after that. What a game. What a game. I've never seen our newsroom, and everyone's centered around the sports desk. And you know what, Dev? There were a lot of people there willing Pakistan to win this, because if Pakistan had won this, the tournament would have been alive. We can see the scorecard just behind me. South Africa win by 1 wicket. What storyline? South Africa have aced the chase. Yeah. And we thought that was the Achilles heel. For the longest time, we thought they're going to choke again. But they've gotten over the line, and we saw at the end the reaction from Maharaj, what it meant to the team, because they so want to get rid of this choker stack.
Yeah, very nearly didn't do it. In fact, that shouldn't have done it. But anyway, it was a really good game. I think everybody watching that felt that they appreciated the effort that was put in, and particularly, I think, from the Pakistan team. It would be easy at any point of that game to just drop the bundle, but they fought hard to get to the point where they could have won it, and perhaps should have won it with a very ordinary umpiring decision. But that's the way it goes. But I think they can be very proud of what they've done. Yes, and I agree with Ernest. They were, and I did say it in the mid-innings, they were a little bit short. But having said that, they made a fight of it and very nearly pulled it off.
Yes, because just looking at the way, there was a time when Markram was going. He was going, but they kept pegging, kept trying to peg them back, and wickets did that. I mean, just looking at the fall of wickets, 136 for 4, then 206 for 4, then Miller falls, then Jansen falls. But when Markram fell, you felt Pakistan have pulled it back. And to be fair to those bowlers, we've been giving them a lot of hammering on this show. But those bowlers scrapped. The fast bowlers, they gave it everything. That was like the Pakistan fast bowlers who we've seen, who we thought we expected. Like those corner tigers.
Yeah. And when Markram did get out, that was almost a turning point. It back in favour of Pakistan, because whilst Markram was there, the set batsman, you felt he could see it through. But, you know, he actually played a bad shot to get out. And I think similar shots twice before he got away with. He went over the infield on the offside to the leg spinner. So he was a little lucky, but he did play extremely well for his 91. And finally, Peris in the similar shot that he could have easily got out earlier in his innings. But, you know, he did a good job for his team, and that could have been the turning point.
Yes, that's Markram. But let's look out at the Pakistan bowling. I think the match has just got over, so we're still trying to sort of get our breaths back and trying to sort of get the heart rate back to normal. Shaheen Shah Afridi, Haris Rauf, expensive at the beginning, came back very, very hard. And I was really impressed by Mohammad Wasim. He was grimacing each time he went out there. He was cramping. And this heart. This is, if they'd shown this kind of fight, this kind of heart earlier on in this tournament, they wouldn't have been going home so early.
Absolutely. And I saw the young Mohammad Wasim Jr. bowl in the practice matches, and he didn't look that great. You know, I thought, oh yeah, but this game he really rose to the occasion, and he looked threatening. A couple of wides that he could have done without as well, but you know, he looked like he was going to pick up wickets today, and that was a very good sign, despite getting a belt of cramps a couple of times.
Okay, now let's get back to the captaincy, and I'll take that to Anas as well, who's listening to us patiently. The situation where Pakistan were, there was no way South Africa were not getting the runs if the full quota of overs were completed. You had to attack.
To get
Did Babar Azam attack enough? Even in that Wasim over, which was his last, that was the last throw of the dice, where there was no slip. There were two players on the boundary for the hook or the pull.
A couple of times he could have had a slip in. There was a slip in and out, you know, on occasions, but they had to get. It's a very delicate situation. You've got to get the wicket, and you also got to keep the run down.
But don't you attack at that stage? You have to go for the wicket. There's nothing else matters. You know, I mean, let's say you've played cricket, right? I haven't. But even I, with my limited knowledge, playing club cricket, know that if it's one wicket there, you have to attack, because the chances of 30 balls remaining, or in the end, what, 18, 19, you're going to get one bad ball somewhere.
In good faith, you expect 6 balls to come in the right spot to justify your slip, maybe a gully. But you don't always get that. So you've got to protect the runs as well as get the wicket. So it's a very difficult, it's not as easy as you think. But yes, they could have attacked a little bit more and showed the intent to get that wicket to ensure victory. But, you know, it's easy to be critical, but there could have been a little bit more attacking, yes.
Anas, should Babar Azam have been more attacking, especially with South Africa 9 down?
Well, I mean, yes. The short answer is yes, he should have been more attacking. You know, the problem as a layman or as not a professional cricketer per se, but what it looks like being miles away is that Babar takes the pressure head on quite easily. If there's a neck down, or if there's a outside edge and beyond the slip, he would just take the slip out. And he would keep on rotating it, and we saw that happening in this match. We saw that happening in the match with Sri Lanka. We saw that happening in the entire tournament. So there needs to be a game plan or a field plan that is in place. We spoke about it earlier today as well. Again, there were at least 2 visible captains on the field. We saw Shaheen Afridi setting the field. We saw Mohammad Rizwan from the stumps. Fair enough, that's the job of the keeper to fine-tune the players, at the fielders. But then we saw Babar Azam as well. So there needs to be that approach that there's one person who everybody would be paying a heed to, and you probably would have seen that as well, that, you know, ball by ball, Shaheen Afridi would be going to Mohammad Wasim or would be going to Haris Rauf and trying to guide them through. That's not his job. That's the job of the captain, to put his faith in his bowlers to buck him up. Where was Babar at that point of time? Somewhere in deep covers. I mean, he was not even visible. So, I mean, the lack of intent from the side of the captain, at least, and the lack of attacking strategy, I think that is one of the bigger reasons as well that Pakistan lost today.
Okay, strong words he's using.
Well, yeah, but look, some words of encouragement from the captain would have been useful, yes, for sure. He's not a bowler, though. I mean, Afridi is a bowler. and he might give some really good advice as also to the person operating. So again, look, Babar Azam could have shown a little bit more leadership, I guess. But all in all, I mean, you know, one wicket.
Okay, let's talk about that wicket. I felt that was out the moment I saw it on my TV screen.
Yeah.
That was clearly out, and you believe that the ICC needs to relook this ridiculous rule. If it's hitting the stumps,
it's hitting the stumps.
Out.
It's out, yeah. And it was more out than Rassie van der Dusen's. That, to me, I thought was, gee, you're lucky to get that, you know. And it was just clipping with the ever so slight margin, and he had to walk out. This guy, look, it just looked out. I don't know why. He probably also, you know, pressure got to him as well, I think, the umpire, and gave it not out. But on the balance of probabilities, that one should have been out, but Rassie van der Dusen didn't look out. So, you know, hitting's hitting, right?
Look, but we saw the reaction of the Pakistan team. They were deflated.
Yeah.
Haris was on the floor.
Yeah.
He didn't have a great first half, right? He went for runs again, I think 5 overs for 30. But when his captain asked him to come back, when they came back in the 30th, 31st over, they bowled with a lot of heart.
Yeah.
And they didn't deserve that perhaps at the end. But how does the ICC sort of address this? Is it going to down to the technical committee, the MCC's, cricket rules, whatever? Because you're trying to trust technology.
Yeah.
Ultimately, what happens in football, right, with VAR, it's either offside or it's a goal.
Yeah, I think the technology, they're saying it just gives that little leeway of incorrectness or whatever, for want of a better word. So the umpire's call is to cover that area. But if all teams agree to it and they sign up to it, then just go with it, you know. Forget this umpire's call. If it's hitting, it's hitting.
Yeah.
Simple as that. You know?
Okay, let's look at the points table. Let's look at the points table, and I'll come to Anas after that, because if I turn around, is it over? Is the race for the semi-finals over? In a way, England are out. Pakistan all but out. Just Sri Lanka left. And if Australia win tomorrow, then you think we've got our 4.
Even if Australia doesn't win tomorrow, I said that'll be the 4 that'll play off in the semi.
But the good thing here is South Africa at the top, and that's because their net run rate, they've been scoring tons of runs, and now they've shown they can chase as well. Somehow they haven't convinced us. We'll get to that. But South Africa, the way things are, so what, 10? And everyone else who's on 2 is probably gone. And what, Pakistan have got 3 games remaining. Max, they can get to 10. And you would expect South Africa and India to at least get 1 more win. So that's what we set out, right? We set out with a minimum of 12 guarantees you. 6 wins.
Yeah. So it looks like they are struggling, for sure. The teams on 4 have got a chance, but they're going to...
Let's stay on that. Let's stay on that points table, and let's go full frame on that.
But they have to play really well to, to get into the last 4, because there's some tough games for all of them, including Australia. But I think Australia's got a couple of, on the surface, easier ones. So I think they're in the box seat, and they can easily seal it all tomorrow morning when they play New Zealand, who are pretty much in as well. So I think I feel that the top 4 there will probably remain the same, but the order may change.
Okay, Anas, let's get you back on. Pakistan, the way things are, things not looking good, right? It's mathematically they're still there, but it's probably game over. It's 4 in a row now that they've lost. And is that, as a Pakistan fan, as someone who watches Pakistan cricket, is that disappointing? Because what Dav and I were talking, if they had shown this intent, which they showed in this run chase earlier on in this tournament, then they wouldn't be going out so early. Is that what hurts you more?
Disappointing, I think, is an understatement. It's more of a heartbreak. I mean, I was just joking with another friend of ours, a colleague of ours, that, hospitals should be having this section in the death certificate area, that cause of death, Pakistan cricket team, watching Pakistan cricket team.
Should laugh about these things.
The moment this team goes on to play, it's a literal heart attack. You don't know which way it will sway. I mean, it'll give you the moments of joy and laughter, or tears of sadness. And as I said, disappointment is an understatement for the very fact that they showed the intent with the Sri Lanka game, but the next two games, in fact, the next 4 games, it's just been a ride down the hill. They're mathematically not out of the equation. Yes, but it's either this way or that way. Pakistan would be depending on other teams on the net run rate. I mean, it boils down to a lot of things. And as a cricketing fan, I would rather want them to focus on the next 3 games to end the tournament on a considerably better note, knowing the fact that they have not been able to do better in 4 of their games consecutively, which, by the way, is a first in any Pakistani cricket team World Cup history. Pakistan has never lost 4 consecutive matches until today. Pakistan, in fact, had never lost to South Africa itself in World Cups until today. So a lot of firsts in this World Cup for Team Pakistan. Points there for introspection as well. Yes, the boys have done. They did give their at best after a certain while, but again, as we spoke, they were a little short, and that actually did cost them.
Did they leave it too late? Ultimately, did they leave it too late to find this sort of performance? And having coached Pakistan in the past, we've been speaking to Anas a lot as well about what's going on behind the scenes, talk of rift. He's saying that Babar has been undermined as a captain. The Pakistan Cricket Board coming out and sort of issuing 2 statements in terms of saying we are backing Babar Azam, but hang on, we're also washing our hands off. He selected the team along with Inzamam, nothing for us. How are the reactions going to be? What's going to happen in Pakistan cricket having been in that position?
Well, it's not going to be a good thing.
There'll be a review.
Absolutely, there'll be a review.
But does anything come out of that review?
Yeah, some nastiness.
Okay.
And, it'll be, I'm sure, finger pointing. You start any review by trying to work out what really didn't go well for you, and then what did go well for you, and what you have to do to
Can you tell me what went well for them? I can't seem to figure out much.
Pakistan?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, at least they came back from a fight, didn't they, today?
Okay.
But a lot of things didn't go well, to be honest.
But why is it that, when I hear Anas talking so passionately, you've understood how that cricket board works. Why are people like Aiden Markram sitting on the outside? Why are they not part of the management? Why are they not part of charting a roadmap? What's the problem? There are some greats of Pakistan cricket. They seem to come in short spurts. Waqar Yunus came in for a while. The Misbah-ul Haq was there. Anas told us the other day that when Misbah-ul Haq was there, the fielding standards were absolutely top class. The players didn't like him because he pushed them out. He's gone. Aiden Markram has nothing to do with Pakistan cricket. He's going around other leagues, sort of being the mentor over there. Why can't Pakistan have it?
With Misbah was the chairman of selectors as well, wasn't he, Anas? Chairman of selectors and coach at the same time. So that was a little unusual, but that's a lot of power. And whoever coaches Pakistan, who was a Pakistani, they have different groups, different lobbies who pull for them or they work against them. And Waqar Yunus was coach there, I think, twice, but never finished his term. I was there for 2 years and I finished my term, So whoever is a local that does the coaching job will always have another faction who is jealous or for whatever reason want to pull you down. And anything that goes wrong, bang, it's highlighted and they want to pull you down. Not to mention if the chairman changes as well. Everything else also seems to be, wanting a change to do it my way, put your own stamp on it. So it's not an easy gig, to be the head coach of the Pakistan cricket team. Despite, there's some good players there, but, managing all this is not easy.
Okay, lots of questions. My phone is buzzing. I don't have my iPad here with me. All your comments coming up in just a bit. Anas is here with us from Pakistan. Very disappointed. Anas Malik, Pakistan Bureau Chief for WION. Dav Watmore, former coach of Pakistan. But before we sort of talk more about Pakistan and take this, a word on the South Africans. They've pulled off a run chase in this tournament.
Well, they did. It's the second one. They got a 50% strike rate so far. I'm sure other teams will be bored.
But hang on, looking at the dressing room, you had the Pakistan dressing room, you had Mickey Arthur there, you had Monem Mokul there, they're South Africans, and they're probably thinking, choke. Because they know what's happening in the other dugout.
Yeah.
But just jokes apart, this is what South Africa's record of the World Cup so far. But for South Africa, how important will this be? We've always said, let's put them into chase. Let's see if they can handle the pressure. That's when it sort of starts falling away. But how much belief will this win give them? They beat Pakistan by 1 wicket. It came down to that moment where you question yourself as a cricketer. Can I do this? And Keshav Maharaj did it for his team.
Very fine margin, though. But yeah, that would definitely give them a little bit of, knowledge to know that, okay, we have to chase a score to win. We can do it. We've done it before. And we need to do it again and again. So that certainly would give them some help. There were some notable, innings. That Markram innings was really, really good. And he figured in a couple of partnerships. And Davy Miller, I mean, he looked like he was going to take the game away also. But, when you start to play and hit fours straight away, that's a bit of a worry for me because, you need to spend a bit more time to understand that pitch before you whack it. But he did whack some good ones, but then got out, He threatened to take the game away. A couple of partnerships and, they were in good position. But when Markram got out, that, to me, was the turning point.
Okay, but we also got to talk about their bowlers. You've got to talk about the South African bowlers. You said Pakistan was short, and they put them under pressure. And again, Pakistan got off to a start. I think, and we'll get Anas on this as well, Anas. The problem with Pakistan has been, Anas, that they've got starts, but they've not gone and got the daddy scores. That's what you call it, right? The big daddy scores, the big hundreds. I think conversion-wise, I was reading somewhere that the most number, across all the teams in this World Cup, so many Pakistan batters have got starts, but they've not been able to go and make it. I think the highest, say, 70 or 80. The only 3 or 4 batters have been able to go and exceed that. Is that something which is very concerning? That they do all the hard work on us, and then they throw it away like Babar Azam today. Looked decent, looked to get a good score. Commentators curse perhaps. Ramesh saying, he needs to convert it into a big score. And what? Down the leg side, out.
I think, look, we've been talking about it, that batting consistency has been a bigger problem. When the openers perform, then the middle order collapses. When the middle order holds down, the lower middle order collapses, and the openers collapse as well. The batters who you would classically be expecting to put up a show, they just have not been performing. I mean, Imamul Haq has been considered as Mr. Consistent, but if you look at his starts in the past 10 matches, 12, 7, 18, 21, 53, 7, 10, 9, and today 8 or 9, something like that. So, I mean, you need some introspection in the entire team. You can't just spin it to one player. It is a team effort, yes, but who you're expecting these bigger players, number 1 ODI batters, number 1 ODI bowlers, best wicket keeper, so on and so forth, so many titles, so many prefixes, but you need to perform as a team and as an individual as well for the team, so that it is reflected in the ground. It's not just reflected in the ICC points table that is released every month. And I think that itself needs a bit of a review as well.
Hang on.
On the part of the Pakistani side and the Pakistani.
Anas, we have the segment called No More with What More, but we're going to have No More with Anas Malik because Dave wants to ask you a question.
No, just your opinion, Anas. I was a little surprised when Iftikhar
opened the bowling.
Well, he opened the bowling, but when he came into bat before young Shakil, because Iftikhar to me is a 6-hitter and a boundary hitter, and he came in at a time a little bit early when the lefty looked like he was able to build an inning. He's a little bit aggressive as well, but he's a pure, beautiful batsman from Karachi, and I feel that was a little, it didn't work. I'm not going to say it was a mistake. It just didn't work. Is that a similar feeling that you had?
And they also opened the bowling with him. That didn't work as well, did it? Anas?
Well, it's not just me who's had that feeling. In fact, we were just like during the mid-match innings break, when Saud Shakil was actually asked about it, he said that it was a decision by the team management. So it looks like Saud Shakil was all padded up to come in place of Iftikhar, and well, there was a last-minute thought in the team management. Not sure who took that decision, but somebody did, and they ended up sending Iftikhar, who is classically, a number after Saud Shakil. Saud Shakil is an excellent hitter of the ball, unfortunately. And it's not just Saud Shakil, it's the opener as well, Abdullah Shafiq. He's been doing phenomenal. Unfortunately, he has not been able to perform. Saud Shakil is a good player of spin. He has not been able to perform per se. But, that lack of coordination within the team, it could be felt sitting miles away from Chennai here in Islamabad just by watching the television set.
Just looking at the numbers, just the Pakistan batters, Shafiq 9, Imam 12, Babar 50, Rizwan 31. I love the way he was taking on Jansen. I think today when the backs were to the wall, they sort of came out firing, didn't they, Dav? Okay, then you had Iftikhar 21, Saud Shakil 52, Shadab 43. Again, they were set. I thought they looked good for a good score when those wickets, there's sort of one bad shot from Shadab, sort of where that decision making, it comes down to that.
That's how we
and I think what Pakistan still had 20 balls remaining. Yes, Anas?
If I can just add something, Pakistan were lucky as well in terms of bowling for one very reason. They had a concussion replacement that came in as a blessing in disguise. Shadab had a hit on his head during fielding, and Osama Mir, against expectations, he did pretty well for that.
Okay, on that, did Babar get it wrong? Why are you asking Mohammad Nawaz to bowl that over when the pressure's there?
Yeah,
should he have gone to an attacking bowler?
Yeah.
Okay, Osama Mir is a leg spinner, but you've coached enough and you've played enough. A leg spinner can go for runs, but a leg spinner also takes wickets.
That's exactly right. I was a little surprised when the finger spinner came on. I was expecting the leggy to come and get the wicket. He might get hit, sure. But he's got more chance of getting a wicket because the finger spinner, you can easily pat it back. But this leggy will give you a little bit of loop and maybe unexpected bounce. You might get even a googly. But it wasn't to be. But I was a bit surprised.
Okay, there's a question on that. AB, this is No More with What More is starting. This is where all your questions, your comments to the great Dav Whatmore, World Cup winner, former coach of Pakistan. I can go on and the show will end. Don't you think in crunch overs, Nawaz consistently bowls in the line of outside leg stump? The line of the ball in the T20 World Cup that Ashwin let go for a wide. And today's ball that he got hit for 4 were both the same. Let's contrast him with Jadeja, who's doing it so well for India. Wicket to wicket. Ball wicket to wicket. The batsman swings, good for him, he gets the runs. If he misses, you hit.
And more importantly, the length as well. That last ball, that last delivery that went for 4 was short. So, more importantly is the length as well. So
the propositions for...
Go on.
Yeah, okay, go on, Anas.
Sorry to interrupt there, Dav. But so the propositions are now in. So how does Pakistan qualify from here? And it's a clear miracle. If South Africa loses
wait.
And Pakistan
hang on. Let's bring up Pakistan's remaining fixtures and then you can talk over it. That gives us more context. Hang on. One sec. Hold on to your horses. One sec. Can we get Pakistan's remaining fixtures? They've got 3 games remaining. They've played 6 now? And they've got 4 points. Let's bring up that graphics and Anas can then talk over it. Okay, Anas, I'll just read it and then you start. They've got Bangladesh coming up in Kolkata, New Zealand, Bengaluru, 4th of November, and then England, 11th of November, Kolkata. Now tell us, how do Pakistan get to the semis?
So it's very interesting, Digvijay. If South Africa loses all of their remaining matches and Pakistan wins the next 3 with a reasonable run rate, then Pakistan can qualify. The other proposition is, point number 2, Australia has 4 matches remaining. They have to lose 3 matches or even 2. Pakistan have to win the next 3 to qualify. And then if India or New Zealand, one of the two, lose all of their remaining matches and Pakistan wins all of their 3 with a margin, then only they can qualify. So the stats are out there. It's not over, but you know, in practicality, it is over.
Yeah, it's not over technically for England, but you know what Matthew Morton and even Joss Butler said, that it's over. Let's bring up the points table. Let's look at the net run rate, because I think when we looked at the points, we forgot to look at the net run rate. Let's bring up the points table, and perhaps that will tell us where Pakistan are. It's not that bad, is it? It's minus 0.387. One good game could get back into positive. The problem is South Africa, India, New Zealand, Australia, big positive. So they need to lose very heavily whenever they lose.
The thing is, when it's out of your hands, you got a problem.
You got to pray.
Yeah, when it's in your hands to decide whether you're going to make the finals or not, then it's okay. If it's in your, once it's out of your hands, then it's just a lottery, and it's really not reflecting any of the good stuff that you should have done.
Unless you're South Africa, who had it in their hands against your team in 2003. Yeah. Remember that?
Block.
Mark Boucher. Mudley?
Duckworth Lewis. Yeah.
Mudley?
Mudley bowling. Yeah.
Okay. Some comments now. Sohaib, never thought I would be saying this, but I think Babar Azam should give up the captaincy. Well, I think it's over, right?
I think so as well. I mean, if Babar Azam will probably reluctantly give it away instead of waiting to be relieved of the duty. I think you might find that might happen.
Okay, Zafar from Pakistan. Thank you, Zafar, for tuning in. In fact, lots of viewers live with us on Facebook and YouTube. If you have a comment or you have something to ask Dav Watmore or our our new cricket expert from Pakistan, my friend Anas Malik, please write into us. I'm getting them all here on this live feed. Zafar from Pakistan says, chin up Pakistan, what a resilient effort and what a comeback. On another day, if luck was on our side, we could have had this match in our pocket, but I will gladly accept our World Cup exit with such courage and effort.
Only on today's performance.
Yes.
What about the previous 3 games? But yeah, we're all very happy to see and pleased to see the way they attacked the game today. So we all agree with your writer there, but really, a couple of games ago they should have done better.
Okay, Akhtar has a comment as well. Akhtar is saying, sure, it's going to be the match of the tournament. What an epic game of cricket. First game of this World Cup that came so close. Disappointed, but at last there is only one winner in the game.
Yeah, well, that's right. You can't.
But is that a problem for the ICC? You've had a couple of upsets or 3 upsets, but no game has been close. This is the World Cup. You want matches to be close. You want fans to start not just in Pakistan smash your TVs, but you want to be with your friends, call up friends, text friends. Oh, what a match! Are you watching? Don't smile. I know you smashed your TV on us. Hang on, I'm talking to Dav.
No, well, I think also it's a residue of the T20 as well. People are now wanting to bat 50 overs like they do 20 overs. And then on good surfaces, and when momentum's going, they get 390, 400. And then trying to match it and get the same score, you fail and you lose wickets in clumps, and all of a sudden, the difference between the 2 teams is huge, and matches finish in 25 overs and 30 overs chasing, and that's not good either.
Okay, let's get Anas back. I want to see his reaction because of what I'm going to read out. There he is. Okay. The comment of the day for me, I don't decide all this. That's Mr. Watmore. But the comment of the day for me comes from Sana. Now, Sana's from Pakistan. And Sana's taken me back to my college days. I don't know how young or old you are, Anas. Dav, clearly, have you heard of Linkin Park?
In Pakistan?
No. Okay, he clearly doesn't know his music. But Sana says...
Linkin Park?
Yeah, Linkin Park.
No.
Yeah, so Sana says... You more of Elvis Presley and Jim Morrison, perhaps that generation. But Sana from Pakistan, Anas, says, I tried so hard, I got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. You want to sing that, Anas? You have a singing voice, do you?
I'm a terrible singer, but yes, I agree. I mean, it's poetic what Linkin Park had sung, and it just fits perfect on Pakistan team. It's like it's a repeat of 2003, where well, I mean, not realistically, but metaphorically, when Pakistan had to were technically out of the tournament, but they had to play the remaining games, and you know the people did not really have much of an interest, though right now they do have much of an interest. But I'll just take you one anecdote I'll just add very quickly. When we were discussing on the Babar captaincy bit, I think there are 3 certain changes that are happening right after the World Cup. That is, number one is that Sarfaraz Ahmed would be coming in as the test captain in the longer format. Okay. That is number one, and Babar would be sort of stripped away. That is because he's recently won a first-class tournament. He just met today the chairperson of the Pakistan Cricket Board. So, and he was elevated to the central contract as well. So Sarfaraz Ahmed is definitely coming back in the longer format game.
Wait, hang on, Anas, you're not the express train. Hang on. Okay, hang on. Give it to us. I'll sort of invoke another song from college, Killing Me Softly. Okay, hang on. Sarfaraz back? I thought he was gone? Sarfaraz Ahmed coming back? When's the last time Sarfaraz played for Pakistan, Dave? Do you remember this? I thought
he played recently.
Yeah, but he was gone. He was in the wilderness. Only in Pakistan.
He played a test match, and Babar Azam I think there was an injury. He had to come and keep wickets as well. That would have been in the middle of the year, I think, June, July. Because he was late coming.
Sri Lanka.
He was late coming for the GT20 in Canada because of that.
That's where you coached, right?
Rizwan was the reserve, but he had to come and keep wickets. There was a problem with Sarfaraz. So it was just a few months ago.
Good news. News breaks lovely from Anas. Well done. Sarfaraz back as test captain. Wow, the forgotten man. So a bit like Misbah-ul-Haq, wasn't he? Misbah was forgotten for a while and then he came back. Oh, like Misbah, hopefully he gets a second win. He won that Champions Trophy for Pakistan 2017. Matty Aiden, somebody else who was forgotten who came back. Yes, Anas?
Keep going, Anas.
Keep going now. Just when you break your story or tell us what's happening, then pause. Let us react to it first.
Okay, then there are 2 more things that are going to happen, and that's like a writing on the wall. Shadab Khan goes out of the team and gets stripped off from his vice captaincy. That is also a given because of his lack of inconsistency in his performance, and that is a given. And number 3, and I think that's been there for a long while. The thought that has been there, either Haris Rauf gets to be benched, or he gets to be limited for a smaller format, that is a T20, until he gets to play first-class cricket and gets that temperament to ball 10 overs and field 50 overs as well. Because Haris Rauf classically is a very good shorter format bowler, but after this tournament, the thought that has been that will definitely be, and as I said, it is a writing on the wall, he will definitely be benched and be more utilized for shorter format of the game. One thing I think in this World Cup for Pakistan, one key person who Pakistan has missed is the presence of Naseem Shah. I mean, had he been there, of course, it's too late to ponder about it now, but had Naseem been there, then, Pakistan would have had a better bowling attack per se.
Okay, hang on. Just on that, I must say, we missed Naseem Shah, yes. Hassan Ali injured, and in a way, thankful he was injured because I really like that boy. He bowled with a lot of heart today, Mohammad Wasim Jr. And they need to invest in him. Yeah. They need to invest in him, and perhaps the problem, what I heard the great Wasim Akram say as well, that this is cricket. What's this rubbish that you can't bowl with the new ball, but you bowl very well with the old ball? That's the problem with Haris Rauf. And perhaps the only way, instead of benching him, the only way they can get him to improve is by getting him to play more long format. They have the Babar Azam trophy, the 4-day cricket.
Yeah, I felt that Naseem Shah was partnering Afridi really well before he got injured. Now, he gets injured and he's unable to take his place. With Shane Shah Afridi, to me, I think he, with the absence of his bowling partner, trying maybe too hard. So you got to pitch the ball up, got to make it swing, got to get the wickets. My mate's not there. And it didn't work for him. So maybe I think he's trying too hard. If he just pulled it back a bit and bowled a bit more accurate, yeah, sure, you got to swing the ball. But I just felt that, it took him a little while to get to understand, now I'm the leader of the pack here. And, you've got to bowl a bit smarter. I just felt he tried too hard and trying to get the wickets early, but he was onto the bat. Came back, he got some wickets. He's doing all right now. He's was near the top.
Back to where he was at his best. There's a comment from Devindri Ratnaike from Sri Lanka. Dave Watman has a Sri Lanka connection as well. He stays there. He stays in Colombo. No need to mock any team in this unpredictable game, she says. It's just South Africa. India and New Zealand are on top of the game this year. Only 4 teams qualify for the semis. 6 definitely go home. So chill. Love from Sri Lanka.
Unemotional.
Unemotional. That's a neutral, right?
Yeah. Well, that's also true, isn't it? We can all get carried away and get, heavily into it. That's part of the game too. A lot of people are interested.
Nimesh says 2 calls went against Team Pakistan, the wide and the leg before wicket. Looks like South Africa have got some luck with solid games in this World Cup. I'm asking the question, could it be their World Cup? Could it be their World Cup the way they are playing? Let's be fair, India have played very well. But South Africa, apart from that one loss, have been very, very impressive. And we're discussing a lot of Pakistan because Anas is here with us. But they've actually looked a champion team, and this is also, remember, they got Pakistan bowled out with Kagiso Rabada not playing.
They can only, make comment on what you see, and they've had the luxury of batting first on some very good flat wickets, and they come in this game and what's so flat, and they just want it very, very close. And when you have any close games, Diggy, there's a number of little things will alter the result. So, it's difficult to pick one area. There's a number of areas that will contribute to that result. But you can only comment on what you see. But I think they're a little bit fortunate so far with teams winning the toss and say, come on, South Africa, you can have first use of a beautiful...
If it's a World Cup semi-final and it's India or New Zealand or Australia, trust me, they win the toss, they say, we batting first, you chase.
Depending on the wicket too.
Okay.
You really got to...
Semi-final is going to be a decent wicket.
Yeah,
especially if India are not playing.
And
now I come to the
agree.
point.
Yeah.
Okay. Rohan says, well played, Keshav Maharaj. You held your nerve. You took your team ahead of the boundary. Markram almost gave the match in the hands of Pakistan with that silly shot after being set when required rate was around 2. Pakistan out of the World Cup. Palwasha says, the way they fought, I admire the Pakistan team. Well done, boys. We'll never stop supporting you. And what else? Sudeep says, on only batting performance against India last year, for how many years Nawaz will be backed in the team? Khan's not too happy. Says, brainless captaincy, no attacking fielders, leaking singles when they should have stopped singles in the slip region. Oves says luck plays a key role in cricket, especially in big tournaments, and Pakistan unfortunately missed out on good luck in this World Cup. Anas, when they start analysing what's gone wrong, obviously the PCB is already washing its hands off the matter. What are the positives Pakistan take out of this World Cup? Are there any positives at all?
I mean, they've been able to find a better opener, that is in the form of Abdullah Shafiq. That is there. They've been able to find a better, considerably better middle order, or somewhat of a somebody who they can rely on. There will, of course, be some debate on the inclusion of Salman Agha and Saud Shakil, with the advantage in Salman Agha's favour that he can bowl as well. But Saud Shakil again is a better player of the spin, so that's that's a positive plus that they would be looking at. Then, of course, with the inclusion of Wasim Jr. and luck was genuinely on his side. Hassan Ali had fever just yesterday, and day before he was in the practice session. He was very well, and after the practice session, he did not feel well, and then eventually he caught on a fever. The reason Wasim Jr. had to play today, and he's performed quite well. Pretty better, better than expected. So what the PCB can possibly find as a silver lining is to invest on Wasim Jr., as you were rightly pointing out, somehow pitch him with Naseem Shah. And one thing I think is not directly related, but it is to do with the team management bit, is they will have to invest in a better physio and in a better medical team. The biggest lesson from the Asia Cup and onwards going towards the World Cup was that you cannot ignore injuries, even the minor of the minor injuries. And that is a classical example of what happened with Naseem Shah. I mean, when he took a fall on the 5th of September this year in Asia Cup
against
in
India.
Lahore, I was there, he was down.
Sorry, the other game, the one before that,
against Bangladesh,
yeah.
Here in Lahore. Yes, in Bangladesh. I was sitting in the press box, and he was down for about good 4 or 5 minutes. They had to pause and they had to get in a substitute. That was the time when Naseem Shah should have been actually taken for scans instead of being just shrugged off under the rug that nothing has happened. So that something is a point of an introspection on the part of the PCB management, that they need to invest in better facilities for a medical team and a better team management as well.
Okay, I'm just getting this comment. I'm not sure if Mickey Arthur's actually said this, but this is one of the comments that have come in from one of our viewers. They're quoting Mickey Arthur and saying, again, I must add, I'm not sure Mickey Arthur said this. It's unfair to start a witch hunt, certainly on Babar Azam, on Inzi, on our coaches and the management team. What I do know is that the boys have tried. The effort of the coaching staff and the players has been first class. Daf?
Well, I think in good faith, everyone does their job to the best of their ability.
No one comes here to lose. Let's be fair.
Right.
And we know how much it meant to them, the way they fought today. It just came too late in the tournament.
That's right. And just going further to what Arne said about the medical side, you spend a lot of money on players and infrastructure and resources and all that, but unless you keep them on the ground, or get them back sooner on the ground, then it's not really, it's not happening. So you need to spend a little bit more to ensure that there are people there that can diagnose quickly, that can treat, really well, and get them back playing competition as soon as possible. So yeah, look, if that's been an area of concern, that is a big concern, because that's so important. You spend money on all these other areas, and here we have, like a really good player not being able to participate. I think Afridi also spent many weeks not coming back to competition. So that was also, I remember, some negative press on that too. He took too long to come back.
Okay, I've been told in my ear that it's getting late. People want to go home. Dav and I can sit here whole day, but we do have to come back for an early morning game tomorrow. Australia, New Zealand, mate, remember?
It's 11:30, Neil.
Okay, time for you to go to sleep. Okay, Anas, thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining us, actually. I'm sorry, shouldn't have said that. Thank you for joining us. I know it's been a tough day for you. It's been a tough day for every Pakistan fan. But I just do hope, for the sake of this tournament, they had won this, because you almost certain or everything else is going to be dead rubbers. Hopefully, if Australia lose and Sri Lanka win one, it gets very interesting. But we thought, Dav, when we started out, that 6 teams can win this World Cup. Pakistan, England, and the 4 we see at the top.
That's right.
Pakistan, England out. So it's a 4-horse race. Very quickly before we go, these stay your 4 semi-finalists. You think this is the 4 semi-finalists? 1, 2, 3, 4 are going to be South Africa, India, not in that order, New Zealand, Australia.
It could change a little bit, but I think those 4.
And who's winning it now? No England. Bye-bye.
No England. India, of course.
Okay. He knows. He knows. Dave Watmore knows. No more with Watmore. On that note, Digvijay Singh there and Dave Watmore saying good night. I hope you enjoyed this. Some lots of comments, lots of views on Facebook and YouTube. one edge of the seat thriller gets everyone going. It's the weekend coming up. Remember, India, England on Sunday, and also 2 games on Saturday. Australia, New Zealand, Dharamshala in the morning. Isha Hanspal, Dave Watmore will be there at 10 o'clock on our digital streams. And the second game is Netherlands against Bangladesh. We're already out. Goodbye. Good night.